This is from Mediaite. Now, this is from yesterday. It says, New York Times editor Dean Baquet predicts doom for local newspapers. Most will die in next 5 years. I don't know. I kind of don't believe him because he does sound like a liberal, works for a liberal newspaper, and most liberals like to prognosticate terrible theories such as the world will end in 12 years and then later on say it really didn't. It's from Mediaite by Caleb Karma. Okay. In candid moments while speaking from before the INMA World Congress of News Media, Baquet expressed a fear that local newspapers are at higher risk of disappearing from media ecosystem amid the rise of new media. They have to adapt. That's my opinion. Quote, the greatest crisis in American journalism is the death of local news, he said. I don't know what the answer is. Their economic model is gone. I think most local newspapers in America are going to die in the next 5 years, except the ones who've been bought by a local billionaire. I was just going to comment, Carlos Slim of Mexico infused cash and or bought you New York Times. So, quote, I don't know what the answer is, but I think that everybody who cares about news, myself included, and all of you should take this an issue. Because we're going to wake up one day and there's going to be entire states with no journalism or with little pockets of journalism. That's why it's incumbent on you to do what I'm doing and what many others are doing like myself, is report on the news as best as possible. Because these newspapers, they have left-wing bias, flat out. And I know what you're going to say, well, there's some newspapers that have right-wing bias. Yeah. That's like saying, the news media, the TV news media, there's a couple of right-wing biases. Fox News, maybe OAN, and that's it. See, the Times also noted that he isn't worried about the Los Angeles and New York Times, or the New York area, excuse me, but is concerned about the model. Quote, the model is for covering the school boards in New York, New Jersey. That makes me nervous. According to recent analysis from the Associated Press via data from the University of North Carolina, over the 15 years, 1,400 towns and cities across America have lost a local news outlet. Additionally, the Pew Research Center found newspaper circulation has steadily dropped for the past 30 years, and ad revenue generated by outlets tanked dramatically in 2006 and continued to decline. Again, you need to figure out another way. It says, the story we did about Donald Trump's taxes, the two stories we've done, my honest belief is that even if you don't like us, you believe those stories. I think if those stories had appeared in The Nation, which is openly left publication that I happen to admire, see, lefty, it would not have the same impact. One of my jobs is to protect the view that if you like us or not, we try to be fair and we try to get it right, and we're not influenced by political perspective. Bull frickin' shit. Dean Baquet, you're a liar. You're a damn liar. You already said The Nation is a leftist publication, which you happen to admire. So what is it? And he's basically saying one of my jobs is to protect the view that if you like us or not, we try to be fair. Try. See, you know what they say about trying is you're not really doing anything. You should say we strive and we do our damnedest to be fair. That would be more of a better statement than we just try to be fair and we try to get it right. Oh, so if you get like some bogus over the last 3 years of Trump collusion with Russia, and then all of a sudden didn't really happen. Did you try to get it right then? Did you try to be it fair? Were you not influenced by a political perspective as you quoted here? Of course you were. Of course you were. That's just a normal fact that you are. Dean Baquet, the editor of the New York Times, probably the editorial board, you're a damn liar. You're a left-leaning ideologue, much like BuzzFeed's Joseph Bernstein. So, snap out of it. Don't lie to us. We're not stupid. I wanted to pull this up. This is an article from about a year and a half ago, it looks like, February 19th, 2018. It says print continues to decline in the latest magazine's ABCs. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but this has something to do with what Dean Baquet was saying. He was saying, like, well, if you don't have a rich, billionaire Mexican benefactor, you're just not going to survive in the world. And I think there's a reason why the readership is down, is because you have the internet, you have places like YouTube, Minds, Gab, Twitter that produce news, and that you don't have to go to these sites through a paywall, if you will. And since this is the figures from 2017, you can see that while digital purchases grew by 3%, online readership for consumer magazines jumped by 37%. There were large declines in international news and current affairs titles, which fell by 15% on a year-on-year basis. News and current affairs titles relating to business and finances dropped 6%, while science-related titles fell 5%. So, but not all of them fell. Like The Economist grew circulation by 8%. Here's a I heard this a long time ago, and I'm not sure if it was correct, but oh, like a lot of those magazines like Cosmo and Ms. Magazine and Popular Mechanics, Popular Science, etc. What I understood what happens is a lot of these magazines get together, and what they do is they buy each other's magazine, like in bulk. And so it looks like they have a big readership, but it's inflated by them sort of buying each other's stuff. So basically inflates their numbers, and it looks like they're doing okay. Even if it goes down, they're saying, well, we still got a high readership, and magazine subscriptions are up. And so, and here's why one of the things I do not like: the New York Times, I think the Washington Post does this, on the Wall Street Journal. They put up a paywall, and I'm gonna show it to you right here. So now, this is called What's New in Publishing.com. Well, it's not necessarily a paywall, but that's one of the things I do not like, of course. But as you can see here, I have an ad blocker. And here's what it says. Support us by disabling your ad blocker. Absolutely not. Now, there are some sites where it says you can continue without supporting, and then you can read it. So, this is dealing with paywall resistance, how publishers are using data for growing subscriptions. And that's the other problem, is once you use once you subscribe to their site, then they use the data they after what you use, and they basically data mine it and kind of show you what YouTube does when you click on a couple videos. After a while, you're watching cat videos and drama response videos and restoration of knife videos. After you're like, what the heck's going on here? So that's what kind of happens. Then reason I like Drudge Report is because even if you hit a paywall, you can still know what goes on. You can read this here. Oh crap! Look at that. And then this is from another website about the New York Times editor predicts almost all newspapers will die in 5 years. It's pretty much the same thing. I don't want to talk about that. And basically up here it says Trump versus New York Times, the executive editor's perspective. It says one thing what Dean Baquet said is one thing he declined to reveal, though, is what U.S. President Donald Trump wanted when he called once to personally complain about something. Wonder why. I'm trying to decide whether I can say. I think I'm going to say what he exactly said for my memoir. Well, then I don't believe you. So yeah, he basically was talking about how when Donald Trump was talking about we've evolved. Beckett said, saying how he handled Trump's bashings. I remember the first time he attacked us. It was shortly after the election. The first time he attacked very powerfully. We had never had a president attack us in such a public way, and responded forcefully. Yeah, he's a left-wing ideologue. There's no doubt about it. But I think this is from inma.org. This basically goes over all what he said, and that's why it's important to always, instead of just looking at one news article, who basically surmises it and kind of packages it very small, you can go to the actual site to where you actually see what he actually said, and you can see it's gigantic. This is where, at the bottom, I think this is one of his last remarks, was how the future of newspapers are going right in the crapper. Yeah, it's exactly. So, what I don't like, in conclusion, is paywalls. I don't like left-leaning ideologues running editorial boards who basically say, "quote We're going to try and be fair and balanced, and we're going to try to get it right." No, you should get it right. Not, well, just try, and if we fail, oh well, we'll write a correction. That's not how it works. I'm not even a journalist, and I know that. But I am a journalist, a freelance journalist, if you will. I'm not a paid journalist. You get that? Even though I'm not technically one, I didn't go to school for it. But the First Amendment allows me to be one. So therefore, I am one. Whether you like it or not, I don't care what you think. You can take your useless journalism degree and stick it straight up your fourth point of contact and sit and spin, as far as I can tell. But anyways, like I said, yeah, paywalls suck. Dean Baquet is just terrible, you know. Ugh, I don't want to read that. But yeah, so these newspapers, unfortunately, the local ones are going down. But like Dean Baquet said, he's like, well, you just have to get yourself a rich benefactor, which is hard to do because these local newspapers barely make any money. They only make their money off ad revenue, not necessarily through subscriptions. And that's what's kind of scary. But anyways, I think this video is pretty interesting in the fact that some of these news, especially these people like in the Old Gray Lady or on the Ivory Tower, and basically saying, oh, well, we're saddened by the loss of local newspapers throughout the next years. Maybe 5 years there won't be any, but we won't do anything. Did you see anything in what he read that he was going to do anything about it? No, he's not going to do anything about it. Of course he's not. Why would Dean Baquet do anything for the little guy? I mean, he is left-leaning after all. Why wouldn't he do anything for the little guy? Makes you wonder, doesn't it?